Hello everybody, Sarah Powell here with Gravity Glass Studio. Today I am going to do a demonstration on making a pink glass elephant. So first off, all my glass comes in rod form. We're going to start with a thick, clear base. So when I make colored pieces, I do not make them solidly out of color. I wrap color around clear. It's just a way to save colored glass. Colored glass is expensive. Clear glass is not as expensive as colored glass. And the way that they make colored glass is they mix metal oxides in with the glass. So different metal oxides will give you different colors. For example, copper will give you green, blues, and purples. Gold will give you your warmer colors like red, pink. Silver is another one that gives you blues, golds, or blues, purples, and greens. So I'm forming a gather right now, and gather is the term in the glass world for molten glass that is on the end of a rod. So I'm just going to form a gather. There's my gather. And then I'm going to wrap pink around it. So when I'm done, you're not even going to be able to tell that clear was in the middle on the inside. And when you wrap glass around a base, the term for that is called encasing. So I am encasing this clear with pink. And when I encase, I am keeping the glass I am encasing with in the flame, and the glass that I am encasing just below the flame. And you just want to make sure that you completely cover your base. So you can see I've got the pink wrapped around that clear gather. So now I'm just going to melt it all in together. And then I can move on to the next step, which will be attaching the head. So thank you everybody for tuning into Canned VC today. Thank you Sam for hosting another Canned VC live stream show. So I'm constantly spinning the glass. Glass becomes a liquid when it's heated enough. And if I weren't spinning the glass, if I were to just hold my hand here, and I will for a second, you will see gravity does its thing and the glass will just drip down. And that's why I spin. I'm constantly spinning. It's also how I got the name Gravity Glass Studio, because it's really just heat and gravity that are playing to shape the glass. So I thought Gravity Glass Studio would be a fitting name. Alright, so I've got the pink completely melted in on top of the clear. It's all smooth, one solid piece of glass again. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the head. So the head, I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did for the body. I'll do a clear base, and then I will just encase that with pink. So now I'm going to heat up on the body where I want to put the head. And I'm only going to heat up that area, nothing more. And once the body, the spot where I'm attaching the head anyways, and the base of the head are the same color, I know that they're the same temperature, and I know that they will form one solid piece of glass. So once they're the same color, I just kind of stick them together. And let the glass cool off, stiffen up for a second, and then I can detach the base of the head from the rest of the clear rod, and then I can go ahead and encase. Just gonna kind of melt that head back down. Got stretched out a little bit. Alright, so you can kind of see it now. We got a little bit of a body, a little bit of a head. Go ahead and encase this. Here's another little fun side fact. If anybody was ever wondering what my logo is, it's actually my tattoo, which is I call it the mark of the torch. So that is the brand mark that my torch would leave if you were to be ever so unfortunate to get burned by my torch. That's the mark it would leave. So my friend Kara thought that would make a pretty cool logo, and she was 100% correct. And she designed my new logo for me. Alright, so I encased the head. And I'd also like to take a second and give a shout out to Nancy. Thank you, Nancy, for recommending that I make a pink elephant for this demonstration. I'm always looking for suggestions. You know, if you have an idea, you want me to make something, I would love to make that my next Ken VC demonstration. So feel free, send me a message. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I've got my own website, Gravity Glass Studio. Just Google me, you should find me. Go to my website, Facebook, Instagram, anything, you'll find all my contact info there. Once the head is good and melted in, I can move on to the next step, which will be adding the ears, then the trunk, pardon me for getting quiet. Sometimes I just get caught in work mode. So the tool I pulled out is just gonna help me kind of differentiate the body from the head. Alright, so you can kind of see it, the little body with the head. So I'll go ahead and attach the ears right now. And I'm going to do the same thing, do clear in the middle, and then attach, and then encase in pink. And then I will shape the ears. Alright. So got the two little nubs there that are going to become ears. Just have to encase them first. Alright, there's one. I just want to try to make sure I have the same amount of glass for each ear. And as long as I have the same amount of glass, they will be the same size. And I can already tell one's bigger than the other, so I'll add a little more glass to the smaller ear. And now I will just take a little time to melt these ears in. Then I'm going to use my tweezers to shape them. Alright, so they're pretty good and melted in right now. I'm going to let that cool off, and then I'm going to just heat up only the ear. I'm going to use the tweezers to shape them into elephant ears. So once I have one ear nice and molten, I'm just going to take my tweezers and just kind of squish. See how that went from a nub to an elephant ear? So I'm going to do that again on the other side. The tweezers give that nice texture, so it really looks like an elephant ear. And all my tools are either stainless steel or graphite. So these are a pair of stainless steel tweezers that I'm using. And the reason for that is that graphite and stainless steel do not stick to glass. Now, if you heat the stainless steel up too much and the stainless steel becomes hot, then it will stick to the glass. So you got to be mindful of that and make sure that your tools stay cool. If your tools get too hot, they'll start sticking to the glass, and you will not be able to shape anything. All right, so you can see it's becoming more of an elephant. So now we're going to go ahead and add the tail. So the tail's pretty easy. Just gonna heat up where the tail goes. Heat up a little bit on the end of this rod of pink. Here's the tail. Go ahead and melt this down. Adding the tail is just one little detail people seem to like. So I make an effort to do that every time. So now I'm going to form the feet. And then last I will put the trunk on there. So I'm going to attach a ponte, and a ponte is a temporary handle in the glass world. So I'm just going to kind of heat up the top of the head, heat up my rod of pink, attach my temporary handle. I'm going to melt off a little bit of extra clear on the bottom, and I will be encasing that and forming the feet. And encasing, it adds more glass than you'd think. So you try to make your bases smaller when you know you're going to be encasing. So I'm going to go grab another rod of pink really quick. And I'm just going to encase this bottom nub of clear. And I will show you how I form the feet. So again, I'm just keeping the pink and the flame, keeping the elephant right below the flame. Just going to wrap that color all the way around. I don't want any gaps. Just want one solid wrap of color. I'll go ahead and melt that in. Got about 5 minutes left in my session, so I'm going to try to do this very quickly. So once I have the bottom nub all melted in together, all heated up, one solid piece of glass, I will press it. Alright, so now we got the feet. I'm actually going to take my blade and do little lines where the feet should separate. I'll do one more final press. Alright. And now I can go ahead and add the trunk. Now, if you've ever tuned into any of my other Can VC live streams, you'll know how important it is to keep an even heat base. And the heat base is just the temperature throughout the entire piece. Just want to make sure that it's all the same temperature. Now I'm going to attach another ponte down below, under the feet. I'm going to melt off the rod on top, and that's also going to help give that elephant head more of an elephant head shape. They kind of have a little bit of a bump on the top of their heads. And when you melt the rod off, it kind of leaves a little bit of a bump on the top of the elephant's head. Alright, so all we have left to do is add the trunk, and I am done. And adding the trunk's pretty easy. Melt on the face, or heat up the face where you want to add the trunk. Heat up the glass rod. Touch them together when they're the same color. You can see now I'll just melt away some of the rod, and that will make the trunk. Any final shaping? I always like to try to have the trunks like go up a little bit, just in that like standard elephant pose, you know. And I also always flatten the end of the elephant trunk. I just think it's one other detail that makes the elephant pretty convincing. There you have it. There is a pink glass elephant. So I'll take my grabbers. Actually, I'm going to just shape a little more on the trunk. Alright, now I can take my grabbers, grab the head, break off the ponte, remove the ponte mark by putting it back in the flame. And I'll give it one final press and I am done. That is an elephant. It'll go into the kiln. It will anneal for between 8 and 10 hours. And tomorrow, I'll have another glass elephant to add to my stock. So there you have it. Thank you all so much for tuning into Canvisi today. Thanks for watching my demonstration. I hope you learned something. Tune in next month for the next demonstration. If you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, it's Gravity Glass Studio. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I've got my own website. Just Google me. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye.